NewsBreak is the fastest growing local news app in the United States, with over 50 million monthly and 16 million daily users checking in throughout the day. When you sign up, the NewsBreak team reaches out with white glove service to get you onboarded and making money right away. Up to $5,000 in matching ad credits, quick account approvals, and dedicated account management to help you find early success. To learn more and sign up, check out the link in the description below. Don't waste time. Sign up now and let's fucking go. Ringba is the leading inbound call tracking and analytics platform for marketers, brands, and pay-per-call teams. It gives you real-time reporting, intelligent call routing, and fully customizable call flows backed by global telecom access in more than 60 countries. With enterprise-grade reliability, a powerful API, and no contracts or setup fees, Ringba has become a go-to platform for performance marketers worldwide. To learn more and to sign up, check out the link in the description below. Get goated and let's fucking go. LFG, let's go, guys. Las Vegas, how you doing? 2026, brand new year, brand new pay-per-call money. You guys ready? Come on, get excited. We're in freaking Vegas, man. Vegas. You guys are looking pretty good, honestly. I don't see a lot of hungover people. I don't see a lot of dark eyes, man. You guys did pretty well yesterday. I don't know how it's going to be tonight, but hey, we're here. All right, so guys, I'm really excited. We got our freaking jam-packed, heavy hitter rendition going on here. We got Adam Young about to hit the stage. We got Boris Shvarts, pitch perfect, putting up massive numbers. We got Samar Hussain, Carlos Corona. I'm going to give a speech. 2026, brand new year, right? 2025 was crazy. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's go get it. So I want to introduce Adam Young. He's the co-founder of Ringba. I consider him the godfather of pay-per-call. I'm very lucky to have him in my life, very grateful for him. What he says, listen to him, because he knows what he's talking about, guys. Give a round of applause for Adam Young. Oh, I told you later.
I'm good.
One last thing, Slido. I forgot about Slido. I got too excited. We're gonna have a barcode after the speaker's talk called Slido. You hit your camera on it, and you can ask questions, and then we'll be able to ask those questions when they finish speaking. And then those cups, we're gonna have a networking session at the end. There's different color cups, whether that's you want to buy calls, whether you want to monetize traffic, you want to improve your call tech stack, or you're in compliance. Pick up those cups, and then people will find you. Make it a lot easier, like speed in here. All right, let's give another round of applause for Adam Young. Let's fucking go.
Appreciate you. Is this mic on? Perfect. I wish I would have brought sunglasses. This is crazy. No, it's fine. I'm joking. I don't want them. So on February 17th, 2015, my business partner, Harrison, said, it's over. We were running an 8-figure profit business with a team of 4, running affiliate campaigns, and our campaign was over. And we had been through this process many, many, many times. It's like spinning plates. You run a campaign, advertiser goes out of business, they have a financial issue, rules change. It could be literally anything. It's outside of your control. And for us, it was pretty brutal. It hurt. I literally walked out into my living room one morning, and I had all these big TVs standing there on mounts. Usually look like the Matrix, and nothing was moving. I got a phone call from Harrison, and that's when he said it. It's over. The advertiser pulled the plug. They weren't profitable anymore. The campaign was over. Our 8-figure business was over, and we had to start again. I've ran hundreds of offers. I was an affiliate for over a decade. I started in my parents' basement. I got rich in my parents' basement, which is great. But over time, all of these campaigns die. And do you know what they all have in common? It's entirely out of your control. When? Every time I'm in a stadium, it fascinates me to see the visual representation that every single person has a cell phone in their pocket. Now, I'm a millennial. I grew up when there weren't cell phones. There wasn't really internet. It was a crazy time, but now, literally every single human being in the United States has a cell phone in their pocket and has the ability to pick up that phone and call you at any time. And that's an incredibly powerful thing because you can access every single consumer in real time right where they are. They don't have to go anywhere. They don't have to think about it. They simply pull their phone out of their pocket and call. And that's why pay-per-call or consumer-initiated inbound calls is the largest opportunity that exists in affiliate marketing today, without question. Now, why are inbound calls better than leads? Why are they better than affiliate campaigns? Because you don't have to keep calling them back. When someone calls you, you just answer the phone. And phone calls have the highest intent because someone has to decide to grab their phone, dial a number, and call you. And so it's literally the highest quality lead. It's the highest quality thing besides a straight sale that any company could ever hope for. And when consumers call, they're legitimately interested in the products and services. Unlike affiliate campaigns, you're not trying to convince someone to buy some e-commerce garbage they're going to be upset about when they get it, or some type of co-registration landing page that gets them spammed for the next 36 months. And an inbound call results in the highest conversion rate possible. A lot of companies that take consumer-initiated inbound calls are seeing 20, 30, 40, 50% or more conversion rate on those calls. And so it's a really powerful thing. Also, with the FCC changes, which are delayed and will eventually come, inbound calls are the future, and the smartest companies and the biggest companies are building their inbound call programs now because they know what's going to happen. And decently sized companies like United Healthcare are in pay-per-call. You have home services, financial services, insurance, billions and billions and billions of dollars of phone calls are bought every single year. Trust me, I know. Ringba's tracking more than $1 billion of phone calls on a monthly basis at this point. It's a lot of phone calls, and it's a lot of money. About 2 years ago, we started the GOAT Club. It's where we give awards to our customers that do $1 million, $10 million, $25, $50, and $100 million on a single campaign in a year. We didn't realize how many of these awards we'd give away. I have 105 million on the wall there, hanging in my kitchen. It's a really cool thing because I picked ones that are my friends. So those are 105 people that I helped become millionaires. Pretty cool thing. And on the other side of it, those are $10 million awards. Wall's full now. It's like $340 million a year in awards there. I got a wall of $25 million. I got a wall of $50 million awards. And when you walk into my house, the entryway is now covered in $100 million awards we've given customers. It's a really crazy thing to wake up every morning and see billions of dollars of your customer success hanging on your walls. It's very motivating. But it's also the coolest thing I've ever seen in affiliate marketing. In my 20 plus years in the industry, I have never seen people make more money than they are right now. And I've never seen anything like pay-per-call. We are still at the beginning of this. This is not the end. You're not at the end of the opportunity. You're at the very beginning of this because the laws are changing in our favor. AI is coming and people do not want to talk to AI. They want to talk to humans for things that are important to them and high ticket. And so we're going to see a hell of a lot more of this. Probably a lot more of that. That's me hauling $100 million awards onto a Gulfstream G550. You know, when I was 15 years younger in the industry, I didn't really see a whole lot of people hopping onto private jets. Pretty sure David flew in on a private jet. Probably a few other people in the room. No comment on how I got here. Might have looked something like that, but I think the reality is that I never dreamed that I would build something that actually allows people to do this. And yes, I was tanning on the tarmac. I haven't been home in 45 days. You need to cut me some slack. And so all I wanted to talk about today was the scale of the opportunity that everyone has access to in our industry. And the beautiful thing about pay-per-call is these campaigns aren't going anywhere. Health insurance isn't going anywhere. People are always going to need their gutters cleaned. They're always going to have to get their garage door repaired. AI is not taking away pay-per-call. People will always need these things as long as people exist. They live in homes, they have families, and they don't want to die. That's everybody. And so the opportunity is not going anywhere. Now, I'm really excited about the people who are going to be coming on stage after me today. Boris, I've known for a long time. He's involved in the call center industry. He runs a great business. And I had him on my podcast a while ago. He and I have value alignment around leadership, and he runs a great business. And so I'm really proud to have him here. Samar is a great friend of mine, an AI expert, always generous with his knowledge and willing to go above and beyond and share with people. Make sure you get to know Samar. David, who was just up here, has been a good friend of mine, runs a great business. Pay-per-call changed his life. And now, like I said, he flew in on a Gulfstream, which is pretty incredible. Look, he had a budget. We sold him the plane. I own a jet business too. Big surprise. Thank you, Boris. Thank you. And then we also, if he arrives here today, have Carlos Corona Jr., who's a really amazing guy. He has one of the biggest hearts I've ever seen, and he's helped hundreds of people be successful in pay-per-call. And he's done that without asking for anything for himself. So I'm really grateful that you guys came today. There's going to be a lot of really great information that's shared on stage. And I encourage you to come talk to my team at the meat market and at the exhibit hall. You can't miss us. You'll know it when you see it. We would love to talk to you about the opportunity and how we can help you grow your business, which is actually the mission at Ringba. Our mission is to help our customers grow their businesses. It's not about us. It's about you, which is why I literally in my home surround myself with the accomplishments of others, because I want to remind myself why we get up and do what we do every day. So thank you so much for coming. I appreciate all of you. And I'll be around the show. If I can help any of you make money, feel free to come talk to me.
All right. I have one question. Is everyone getting a Slido barcode? You guys have access to that? Oh, there it is. Okay. So I have one question, guys. Put more questions on there. This is the godfather of pay-per-call. Take advantage of this. You're in the room with him. What CTV channels would you say are the most valuable to PPC? Pay-per-call.
I think you would want to look at CTV more like what the demographics are of the campaign that you want to run. You're going to look at different channels based on the demographics of your campaign. If it's Medicare, you're going to want to look at things like game show channels, news channels during prime time. If you're talking about home services, then you're going to want to advertise on like the Home and Garden Network or something. It's all very dependent on what your campaign is, and not necessarily which channels produce the best, but which have the same demographic alignment with the audiences you want to target. It's a good question.
Yep, great question. I have another one here. How can I remonetize the traffic that I pay for already?
Like pay-per-call traffic?
I would imagine.
Yeah, so if you're using call tracking like Ringba, you can take the caller IDs and you can upload those caller IDs to advertising platforms like Facebook or native platforms and do an audience match. You can also take those caller IDs and append data to them. We, for instance, have real-time data appends, and we now have something like data on almost 300 million Americans or so. And then you can take that appended data and also remonetize it by uploading to all different types of advertising networks. You can even push your data in real time into display networks for retargeting on a phone call, which is really, really powerful, and a lot of our clients do.
One more question here. Some very big questions here, guys. What is the hottest and most profitable vertical right now?
In reality, people are making millions and millions and millions of dollars in every single vertical. And so I appreciate the question, but the truth is you should not be chasing the red ocean, which is the question. The truth is you should be thinking about where people aren't. And so I made my first $1 million in affiliate marketing, running campaigns no one else gave a shit about. Everyone's looking for where everyone else is making money, and that is a bloodthirsty pool. Everyone's going to try and copy you. The margins are going to be thin. It's going to be a complete pain in the ass, and that is not where you make the high margin dollars. You want to go compete in Medicare? It's huge. Great. We're going to make 8 to 12% margins and have to compete with people doing hundreds of millions of dollars a year in media buying. That doesn't sound fun. But I can tell you right now what would be pretty good is like mold remediation or something, like a campaign that no one cares about where there's unlimited budget basically and the margins are going to be super high. Also, it's not necessarily about the campaign you're running, but the traffic sources you're running them on. Most affiliates think small, David. Facebook, Google, maybe Snapchat. In pay-per-call, you can run campaigns wherever there's a phone number. During open enrollment, for instance, television advertising is massive. Direct mail is massive for all types of campaigns. I even have a guy who goes on Craigslist and finds people in different cities to slam yard signs down in rich neighborhoods, and he does net profit about $5 million a year. He's got a team of 2. He could grow it. He just doesn't. He doesn't care. It's too much money for him. And so with pay-per-call, you need to think about more than just what the campaign is. You need to think about where people aren't and then how to reach those people in unique ways, because you can put a phone number anywhere. And that's the power of this. It doesn't have to be digital. And people are making a fortune offline with it too.
Roop, I think this is very important, right? You mentioned the laws that are changing in our favor. Can you please elaborate on that?
Yeah. So if you don't know, the FCC proposed some regulations for the sale of data and how you can contact it. And there was a lot of lobbying around that, and it pushed those regulations back. And they haven't gone into effect, and a lot of people are still fighting it. But the writing is on the wall. It's just a question of when. And we all know that no one likes their phone to blow up 55 times a day getting spam called, right? Like, it's not fun. And so it's not a good consumer experience. And a lot of the offshore call centers abuse this data. And so it will eventually change. The question is when. And so if you're doing outbound dialing, it's a dying business model. You also have like the caller ID spam and the mobile carriers fighting it, and no one wants it. And so over time, you're going to see connection rates drop. You're going to see more spam flags triggered, and outbound dialing is going to be more and more and more complicated to do at scale. And so businesses are going to have to switch their acquisition model to consumer-initiated inbound, which the FCC has said is like walking into a CVS. There's like literally no regulation around it whatsoever, because the consumer is coming to you instead of you going to them.
All right, this is a good question. It's kind of technical, but I think this is important. Customization and or identifying variables that convert. How do I best use Ringba to identify variables that will help me make the best decisions?
Great question. So there's a lot of ways to do that. I think what's most important is you're getting all your data into our platform, and then you can use the pivot tables and insights to dig through that data. And the mistakes I see a lot of media buyers making is they're not passing all the variables that they can. And so if you're doing media buying on Facebook, for instance, you can actually pass your ad groups, your individual ad IDs. And yes, we have a Facebook integration, so that data is going to get posted back to Facebook, but Facebook does not process that in real time. And there are always issues with this as they continue to update their APIs. Data is not 100%. But if you pass those ad group IDs and all the other data into Ringba, you can immediately see in real time where your conversions are coming from. So you can actually do your media buying and large sets of ads and just trim them much faster by looking at our data instead of waiting for the conversions to pass back.
Great. Thank you. Okay, another one here. I like this one a lot. New to PPC, been selling insurance the last couple of years, generating my own leads. My focus has always been the Hispanic market. How would you come into that market?
Come into that market the same way you would come into any market. First, you identify where your consumers are. Could be geographic, could be a publication that they read. It could be places that they go, places that they live. It could be language targeting. But first, you have to identify where the consumers are, and whether it's Spanish or something else, it's important to find pools of them. And then once you find the pools of them, then you can figure out how to target them specifically. And if you do this effectively, there's a lot of really incredible opportunities. And the thing about the Spanish audience is, yes, they're online, but they are going to consume media very different than an English-speaking audience. And I'm not Spanish. I don't speak it, even though I live in Miami. Yeah, I know. It's fun. But their behavior is very different. And so learning about your audience and finding them in unique places is where you can find the highest margin, cheapest traffic.
God, this may be the last question. We have a couple minutes here. How to acquire PPC buyers at scale in highly regional industries?
Fucking grind. Make your list of 5,000 locations, hire some people, or start at the top, baby.
I love it. All right, we got one more. Let's go. This question is interesting. Call tracking software is competitive. What's on Ringba's agenda in 2026 to keep staying ahead of your competitors?
Well, I guess they're going to have to wait and see.
Wow. It's a good way to end this. Guys, give Adam Young a round of applause. This is amazing. I love him down there. Come on, man. All right, guys, that's great. And we're just getting started. We got a lot more good stuff coming on here on deck. All right, the next speaker, it's a good friend of mine. I've known him for several years. I don't even know how long. I interviewed him. We have a podcast called The LFG Show. Our first round was here at Affiliate Summit West 2 years ago. And I was doing these quick interviews on pop-up interviews, 2, 3, 4, 5-minute interviews. You may have been my first interview. You're like number 1 and number 2. I don't remember. I happened to see Boris, and I'm like, hey, Boris, man, let's talk about this. Let's talk about transfers. What's going on? People are scared of transfers. They don't know what's going on. They say it's dying, blah, 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 blah. And he was putting up big numbers at the time. He was putting 5,000, 6,000 transfers a day, right? You fast forward 2 years later, he's putting up quadruple those numbers. He's doing 20,000 transfers a day. And this is a pay-per-call panel briefing that we're at right here, right? So we're talking about inbound calls, but people forget about how valuable transfers are. I believe it's the best freaking lead out there, right? So they say it's been gone. Boris going to talk about it. CEO of Pitch Perfect, putting up massive numbers. Let's get Boris on the stage over here. Right, big ass round of applause. Come on, guys.
Thank you so much, David. My actual friend. This is my first time ever speaking. So if I fumble, please forgive me. Let's go back. Pitch Perfect Solutions started 5 years ago. When I got into the business, it was COVID. Everyone was saying like Medicare is the worst thing ever. You can't be in Medicare. You can't be in insurance. Try Nutra, like any like e-com business there is. But I stick with it. I'm from Toronto, small circle. Stan, all those guys there, like David Brook, like inbounds.com, like all those guys, they put me on. They taught me the game. I met Stodolak and I moved to Miami. All my data is opted in. So when you buy a warm transfer, you got to know what you're buying. The big stigma with warm transfers was that like at scale, like in 2020, 2021, there was a lot of offshore call centers that were doing it. The issue with offshore call centers is the data is not really going to be it. And when it's time to get, like a TCPA complaint, like you need the PTC, they're nowhere to be found. That changed a lot now. We have carrier approvals, CMS compliance, all of that. The revenue share model. So all my partners, like I don't charge them per hour. I only charge on a rev share. So you give me the data, right? Or you buy my data, I dial on it. It sells to my partners or your partners, and we do like a rev share. If you get paid, I get paid. Like I have skin in the game. That's the only way to do it, I think. It's a shared accountability, and it reduces risk. Compliance infrastructure. It's on Pitch Vision. If you have to pull a PTC, if you have to pull a recording, it's all there. The difference between an inbound and outbound. I'm an insurance guys, okay? I only do insurance. So like in insurance, this is what we've seen like recently. On the inbound call, a lot of the stuff that's been coming in, for insurance, it hasn't really been, for insurance. It's been, spoof cards, like food and grocery cards, $4,000 cards, $3,800 gift cards. And for the buyer, the issue is, like in the new world, with Humana right now giving all these like CTMs, is that when a person is flipping their Medicare plan on the phone, from clicking an ad that they saw on Facebook, they're going to keep clicking that ad. If they saw one for $3,800, like one day, they're going to click the $4,000 one, tomorrow. And what that does to a back-end buyer who, I don't know if any of you here like have agencies, all you care about is LTV, right? So you want the person to stick on the policy as long as possible because it pays out per month. So when the inbounds came in, it was beautiful. But then we started looking at the data and people kept flipping. Now, this only applies to people that like are not doing it right. There's a lot of people sitting here that do it right that have high LTVs. The reason that I was able to get successful is because I never pivoted. I doubled down every single time. 2020, they said it was done. I stayed in it. 2021, they said it was over. I stayed in it. 2022, they told me that my wife so I told my wife that she might have to go back to work. I was living in Sunny Isles at the time. I had a kid. They're like, guys, it's over. 1-to-1 consent, it's done. We doubled down. We built the 1-to-1 consent path. We spent all that money and nothing happened. You can't let the fear dictate your business. If you know that you have a good product, it'll come. Work on relationships. That's all that matters. Scale and performance. A lot going on. I work with over 36 downlines. I do over 20,000 warm transfers per day, and I've been here for 6 years. I've had ups and downs. There's people here that have sued me. There's people here that I've settled with. There's some people here that owe me money. But that goes on, for another day. Built on trust infrastructure, partner transparency, all that, I already spoke about that. 2026 and beyond, like new vertical growth. We're in home care. There's, a million like Medicaid verticals that, we're trying to get into, and we're trying to keep everybody like under the same like ecosystem. Let's build together. Pitch perfect. Thank you guys so much. My first time. I hope I touched every topic. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. Was that okay? Or was I just like rambling on?
Man, looking good.
Thank you so much.
Great watch.
Dave's my neighbor.
Any questions, guys? Put some questions. Oh, there you go. We're a little delayed over here. But let me ask you a question when we wait here. Call centers. I've been in call centers my good chunk of my life, right? It's not easy managing people. It's freaking, you're dealing with a lot of egos, emotions. There's a new generation, that you got to talk to differently out there. What's your key to making this successful? You had 100 agents a few years ago. Now you have 1,000 agents. What's the secret to that success?
Honestly, for every 12 agents that I ever had, I had one supervisor for them. So, it was easier to scale. You got to pay. You got to pay to play. So you got to just grow. You got to, add supervisors, add team leaders. You got to trust who you use for your tech, like Ringba, obviously, right? So because my call center is I work with like a lot of people, I use Ringba, I use Retriever, I use everybody. It's whoever you want to use. It's very important that you trust your partners because like a tech issue could wipe out an entire day. And back-end buyers don't care about, Twilio going down. Sorry, but, you gotta be up. You got to be up and you got to have like backup systems and you got to make sure that you're delivering calls every single day at a low CPA and a high LTV. CPA and LTV, that's all that matters in insurance.
Got it. Okay, this is a good question. I'm not sure if you addressed it on stage. Where do you get your data from or buy your data from?
Okay, yeah. So it's the rev share. So my business is I don't buy data. Every lead that I dial is opt-in on my own sites. When I say my own sites, it's not my own sites. I'm in a strategic partnership from day one with the same person that I've been with since day one. Start off at Fluent, I'm sure everyone here knows Fluent. And after that, everybody, went apart, started their own companies, and I'm still with those exact same people. And wouldn't you guys like to know where I get my data? By the call.
I want to press upon that a little bit more because Fluent is a publicly traded company, right? And you work with several publicly traded companies. For them to trust you with their data, and how did you gain their trust? How did you get in there and be like, listen, I can handle your stuff without putting you in a massive TCPA lawsuit?
Yeah, so when you deal with a publicly traded company, you have to make it past compliance first. So after you make it past the compliance aspect of it and they trust you with their data, hopefully you have a very good account manager and that he trusts you, and then you could go, with them.
Got it. Okay. Is your call center U.S. based or out of the country?
Oh, I didn't touch on that. We're onshore. Sorry about that. Everyone I have is onshore. So everything is here. So I'm from Canada originally. It's considered like onshore as well. It's not nearshore. But most of my agents now are in America.
How do you do it? Obviously, I mean, I've had call centers in Colombia. I've had them overseas. I have call centers in America. Obviously, it's more expensive to do it in America. We all know there's no secret. How do you make that work?
Listen, it's all a numbers game. If the client needs to have $100 CPA, right, $120 CPA, then you gotta, work within what they need. They're only going to buy calls off you if they make money. You could charge $40 for 90 seconds all you want. You're going to sell 10 calls a day. But if you lower your prices and you give the back-end buyer what they want, you'll make it work. You can make a lot of money in insurance, even if they're in America.
Great. I like this question a lot. This is not a question I would expect someone to say, but or to ask. I'm a big believer in it. That's why I was on the private jet yesterday. Proximity is a real thing. Would you say being in South Florida and being in the insurance world has helped you elevate your business?
I wouldn't move to South. I moved to Florida when I already had money. South Florida, and you know this too, it's like you could just get stuck in the backyard because you're in a resort all day. We live on the beach. So I would say no. Some of the best weeks I've had is when I put my head down and just go to New York and work for a week out of the offices there. I don't think so. I think South Florida honestly has the most call centers in the world. It has the most, switchers in the world, and probably has the most call center fraud in the world. You want to go to somewhere like Kansas City, Missouri. That's probably where you want to go. You want to go to Colorado. You want to go to Utah. You want to get agents there. You don't want to be in South Florida. It's incestuous, and it's I don't really hire in Florida. So I wouldn't,
I didn't expect that answer, but that's great. That's why
Florida's great to live. You want to raise your family, have 2 kids, there's good schools, but you wouldn't really, right? Hire in Florida? I still love you. I still love you forever.
I agree. I like this question. When you first started out, how do you first establish the relationships with the back-end buyers?
God, it's all relationships. Some of my buyers like to party 24/7. I have to party 24/7. It is what it is. So you have to just do what your buyer wants to do. Whatever they want to do. If they want you to come in the office, you want to see reports, you got to show reports. Yeah. You got to give them what they want. The buyer's the most important thing. Don't worry about pricing of your calls. Have it fit into a back-end CPA, and then go from there.
Got it. Okay. I like this question too, and I think this is one aspect of your business model. What do you think about inbound transfers?
Inbound transfers are great. The 20,000 was just outbound. I do a lot of inbound transfers as well. They're great. You got to build it into your CPA as well, but then don't forget, you got to know, how that call is being generated. If the consumer for insurance, again, is seeing something about money, they will never have a high LTV. They will not stay on your books because all they see is money. They're clicking that ad because they think they're going to make money. It'll come into your call center and you can warm them up, but it doesn't matter because they still came for money. It's about how that call is being generated.
So how do you handle a situation like that where you're working with a publisher? I mean, this is a big thing, right? I think I don't know. I could be wrong. I heard there's 13,000 people at Affiliate Summit. There's a lot of gold here, but then there's also a lot of, looks can be deceiving. And once you get under the hood and you find out what's going on, the point I'm trying to say is they might give you an ad angle, say, oh, this is what we're running. Then they're running some free government thing or whatever. I'm sure you've dealt with that. How do you identify that, weed it out, and prevent that from happening again? Protect yourself at the end of the day.
I don't buy inbound calls, bro. I'll be honest with you. I don't buy inbound calls now for any of my agencies, any of my downlines. We don't do inbounds. We just do transfers.
Okay. All right.
That's the only way to protect it is to own it in-house and have the full recording. If you don't know what happened before, I can't take that risk. I have kids.
Okay. This is a very good question. What are good benchmarks for contact and transfer rates?
Ooh, someone's trying to steal something. I'll shut them out. It's all about DIDs. A lot of these, dialers, they don't really use. I don't really believe in a lot of the dialers, DID systems. You gotta get your DIDs registered. And with a publicly traded company, TransUnion has a company now where they register DIDs. It's all about that. The contact rate is important, but it's your DIDs that will get your contact rate higher.
How many outbound calls you make in a day?
Fuck. How many? 3 million.
3 million outbound calls a day. Jeez.
My dialer company just charged me $312,000 on the way here, and I crashed out in the car. I was closed half of December, so I have no idea how it's possible.
That's amazing, guys. I mean, I've been in call centers, and I didn't know it was that much. I thought you were going to say closer to 1 million. That's just incredible. How do you handle the stress, man? I mean, I know me running my gray hairs that I have. I ran a call center in South Carolina, freaking 10, 12 years ago. I don't even remember. And I look at pictures when I started there. My hair, just a few grays, freaking pretty black, jet black. Freaking like a year or two later, half white, and I'm really convinced that freaking call center is what did it to me. We had all these ups and downs. We grew from 5 agents to a little bit over 200 agents. And man, there's times I'm like, fuck this. I'm out of this shit, man. How do you handle it? I mean, because you did 5X what I did.
You made a lot of money, brother.
No, I'm talking in terms of head
You
count.
fly private too.
Head count.
Oh, head count. How do I manage it? Honestly, I wake up every morning. It's just a race. Stuff changes every single day. So if you just tell yourself you only have from 8:45 in the morning till 6:30 at night to make as much money as possible, who cares about the noise? Who cares about one-to-one consent? Who cares about this TCPA? Who cares about that? Just put your head down and work. And you gotta use stress to your advantage. Like I stress the most. I don't know. Like just find something to calm you down. Steam room, sauna, smoke a joint. The ketamine's legal now in Florida.
In a legal state.
Ketamine's legal in Florida. You want to try that? I don't know. I do everything.
All right, great. So, okay, this is a very good question. How do you handle repeat traffic? Do you send calls back to the original buyer?
All right, so that's very, very, very important. I work on a 30-day dupe window, but I'll never, ever call back your sale. If you make a sale, I track it. Look, people come back to the sites. It's normal. But if you sold them, I'll always have that PTC again. And you'll own that sale. We also provide, some customer service at Pitch Perfect. So let's just say you're a new agency starting out and you don't have a customer service team. We could dial back on that data, keep them on your books for like a monthly fee as well.
So let's talk about the future. I think you talked about briefly, right? Your insurance, massive, probably top in insurance, right? Are you guys looking to venture into other verticals? If so, what verticals? I got a question in here. Someone wants to work with you, maybe bring you business, but this happens to me a lot. For 10 opportunities, maybe there's only one, or maybe for every 20, there's one. And time is important to us, right? So please break it down so people understand what it takes to work with you and what you're going to be working on in the future.
Look, it's very simple. I have 2 ways to do it. So you can give me your data. I could dial on your data. I could send it back to you and I could charge you per transfer. Or you could buy the whole call off me. What I'm working on in 2026, look, there's not a lot of people left in the game to just be, like big in pay-per-call. I think if I was starting out again, I had an IFG heap deal 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I had an IFG heap deal. I just sat around doing nothing. I could have been at 5,000 agents and been sold a long time ago. I am scaling my own licensed insurance agency. I have a couple of them ready, but I would say try to be the back-end buyer and not just a marketer, because there's a million marketers and there's not a lot of back-end buyers.
I like that. Okay, this is going to be the last question. Guys, we've been fortunate. We had a lot of time with Adam to ask him a lot of questions. A lot of time with Boris. Again, 20,000 transfers a day, unheard of numbers. Amazing.
That's only outbound. I have inbound as well. So it's like more like 25.
More than that.
I'm not counting.
That's why this guy's on G5s. Where are the...
What? I flew a Hawker here.
Whatever. All right, so this is a good question. Starting out with no call center, but the ability to find buyers and generate calls. Do I partner with a center or do I find buyers who already have a call center already?
All right, 1 second. So he or she is starting with a...
So they have no call center, but they know how to find buyers. I mean, essentially like a broker, and they could also generate calls. Do they partner with a center already, or they find buyers who already have a call center? So I guess, do they go with a center like yours, or do they go with a a direct advertiser, like a direct insurance company?
Well, the back end buyer will never. My biggest buyers are my personal friends, and they would never give me 100% of their business. So you're never going to get 100% of somebody's business unless they're being like irresponsible. You could do both. You could partner up with a back end, or you could start your own call center, or you could partner with a call center.
All right, guys, this was very informative. This was great. Boris is a hard guy to tie down. He doesn't really do these sort of things. So really happy to have you on here. 20,000 transmit. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, bro. I love you a lot.
All right, we have more coming, more heat coming. AI. Who's using AI in their business right now? Raise your hands. Okay, wow, a good chunk of you are like 55, 60%, but there's still 40% that aren't. This AI keeps evolving dramatically. The next speaker, Samar, him and I have a good friend. He's a mentor to us named Ankur. He came into my office and he's pretty much made me feel like a dumbass. He's like, "Why are you spending all this time on these spreadsheets doing this and doing that? You're fucking old school. You got to stop with this bullshit, right?" So he came to my office, put in some prompts, and boom, it spit out the thing I was working on for like 40 minutes. He did that in like seconds, right? And that was like it blew my mind away. What's capable now. And a lot of you guys probably already knew about this. I have some guys on my team that know AI, but this helped me. This put me on a mission to get better. And we brought someone on our team that's just really taking us to the next level, thanks to having proximity to people like Samar and like Ankur. So the next speaker is Samar Hussain, really good friend of mine. Very fortunate to have him in my circle. He's got a big insurance company that's putting up massive numbers in South Florida, and he's also become probably the face of AI in our industry. He's going to help you learn how to scale your business with AI, give you all the trends in 2026, going to help you make a lot more money for you and your current partners, provide value. Let's fucking go. Give a round of applause to Samar.
My name, bro. I got a mic. You mic me up.
That's it.
Cool.
You want the mic or no?
No, I don't have a mic up. What's up, guys? I know it's early morning session. It's the first day, but it's not the first day for a lot of people. There's been multiple conferences. We had Lead Gen World, we had Geek Out, which I've attended, and I spoke at both those events. So I'm kind of losing my voice here, so you guys have to bear with me. And I've been in the space for a very long time. I started my call center. I'm from South Florida, born and raised. And in South Florida, there's a very small community of insurance brokers, and I was very grateful to be a part of that. I opened my room in 2011. I was 19 years old, selling limited med. Still have a limited med room. That'll never change. But in the process, we've evolved. We've evolved from buying calls, buying leads, buying transfers, to media buying and having our own internal. At the time, TCPA was really big. I've been sued by TCPA. I had a whole class action in which kind of opened my eyes, saying, hey, we need to start generating our own shit. So we hired Google media buyers. We started generating calls, right? Now we've evolved, and that evolved process into AI. So when it comes to making creatives, that's what I'm going to be talking to you guys about, on how we're making our creatives and how we are scaling these creatives using platforms like Sora, VO3. How many of you guys are using Sora or VO3 or any of these platforms? Quite a few of you guys. So I want to go over kind of my process on how I think about it psychologically and how the customer would essentially think that is not AI. And we have a process flow, and we do that with a forward prompting. So now the current issue, the problem is that the bottleneck for any of you guys is making the creatives, right? Spending the longest time. You're either working with UGC actors or whatever, and they're dicking you around like, oh, I need this much time. I need this much time. At the end of the day, if we can minimize that time and we can just use AI to make it, but we have to do it the right way. Now, the shift is the old school way. The old school way is you make the creatives and you hire the actors. And the new way is the JSON prompting way, right? Which is a hyper-targeted video for that vertical. So I'm gonna show you guys an example actually of a generation that we made, and I'm gonna go over my thought process on what I was thinking. Honestly, I feel like a madman. I feel like I'm on the spectrum when I make these things, and I go really, really deep into the psychology of it, because all of it is psychology. Everything is psychology. All my call center sales scripts are written by psychologists. It has the waves of up and downs. You have to understand the ups and downs and the emotions of the entire process, and that's how you can really crush it. So we use tools like Sora, VO3, obviously the platforms, Meta, Google, NewsBreak, Snapchat. All of these ads, they work really well since they're made on a reel format. By a show of hands, how many of you guys are using VO3? How many of you guys scaled with VO3? Okay, great. Now, I want to show you guys the result. I want to show you guys an ad. Comms, we have audio on the next slide? Yes? Okay. So this is the result. This is an auto insurance ad. So I want to go over the psychology that we had with this.
Crazy when I told them how much I'm saving on.
Okay.
My group chat went crazy when I told them how much I'm saving on car insurance. They thought I switched to some expensive plan. Nope. I found a crazy low rate online in just a few minutes. If you drive, you need to check this now before the prices change. Seriously.
So first of all, that video, the way that the idea that we had behind it was, can we play it with no audio now? I want to play it again with no audio. The way that we prompted it was to have movement in the camera, for her to go back and forth so people cannot notice if her lips are moving a little bit fucked up, right? Because she is not real. So, so the way that we prompted it was, we have a really weird movement, and it makes it almost look natural, and it makes it that she has a lot of excitement in her face. Okay. So this ad works well for auto insurance, and this would go to a pay-per call. I know not many people are doing pay-per-call for auto, but it is there. There is a market for it. People are paying premium if the quality is good, right? So if you guys want that prompt, it's here. Go ahead and download it. It's going to ask you to like put your name and email in there. Just do it. Make sure you put the right one, because that's where you get the email to. Okay. Now, why this works. Ad fatigue. How many of you guys run an ad, 2-3 weeks later, dead, right? Some people ripped it. So the idea of having a system that you're just constantly pumping out creatives, even if someone rips you, it doesn't matter. You just keep on making more. So you have to just be sitting on a repository of a crap ton of creatives. Someone rips you, it's okay. Take my shit. I'll make more. I'll keep on making more. Compliance wise, since everything is almost like zeros and ones now, your creatives become just prompts. So analyzing, making sure that you're not saying anything in the ad that you're not supposed to say really does help with compliance. And production costs. Production costs goes down severely. Also production time. I feel like time is money. So if you're saving time on making your ads, you're saving money. Okay. Now the secret weapon behind it is that we use the JSON prompting method. Now the JSON, how many of you guys are JSON prompting currently? Right? A lot of people raise your hands earlier that you are using Sora and VO3, but only a few people raise your hands right now because you guys are not using JSON prompting. JSON prompting is by far one of the things that's helped me scale, not only in image ads, because you can use JSON prompting for image ads. You can also use JSON prompting for the video text to video models. And the models are just getting better and better every day. Like this prompt, I'm not sure how many pages is prompted, but I have a prompt for an image ad, for a Medicare image ad, and it was 5 pages long. And that's what we're prompting to the models. So making small little surgical changes in that completely changes the ad. So it's very important that you guys have like a system, a logic. Hey, this is what we should change every week. We change the character, we change the race of the person, we change the color of the clothes that they're wearing, we change the background, we change if they should be in a coffee shop or if they should be, I don't know, at Home Depot. Doesn't matter. we're able to, I'll just reiterate that. Everything just becomes knobs, right? Move the emotion, the lighting, whatever the case may be, whatever you want to change in that JSON prompt, you're going to be able to do that, right? Now, the variation engine. This where it gets a little interesting because we're able to create new iterations literally on the fly. We could change the script up a little bit. We could change the angling a little bit. Now I have a specific agent that deals like an AI agent that deals with coming up with all these creatives, coming up with all the angles. It researches what's going on in the news automatically, sees how if it'll score anything big going on, and then make an angle about it. Change the JSON prompt, and we have a new ad. But it's happening all automatically. And for you to do that initially, yes, we hard code it, we build it ourselves. I'm not a developer, but I can sit there, I can code out anything I want. But we all start off with N8N or Make. How many of you guys are using N8N or Make for automations? Okay. If you are not, I would suggest you guys to spend a little bit of time on that. That's a great starting point for you to build an AI agent that's going to carry on like an agentic system. And then from there, you can build it out on your own. All right. When it comes to these models, they have a 10 to 15 second window. That's it. You can only generate that ad for 10 to 15 seconds. Now, how do we solve that if you want your ad to be 45 seconds long? And mostly ads are like a minute long. So in Sora specifically, I'm going to give you guys the solutions for both models that are like the most famous two models right there. For Sora, we have something called a character mode, where I first make that first generation. I would then make a character out of that one person. And then I would then prompt it to use that character with that JSON prompt. Now, what's going to happen is going to take that same character and I can keep on continuing on the script. The only thing that changes is the script. Everything else stays the same because the person is the same. The movement's still the same. It's just the script is now different. Now they're on part 2 of the script. Now there are 8 to 15 seconds, 15 to 21 seconds, so on and so forth. So for VO3, we do the frames. In VO3, there's where we take the last 1 second of the ad. So if the guy is like standing with his hands out like that, we take that frame and we make that as a starting frame and reprompt it with the new script. So now when the new part starts, the guy's starting like this. Okay. So that's a solution for both the models that are popping right now. So I would apply those 2 tactics and you should be able to generate a good ad. Compliant, I kind of went over this. It's very easy to pick shit up and I'm sorry if I'm cursing, but it's very easy to pick stuff up in when you have JSON prompting, because it's all zeros and ones at this point. You could even do a control find. If someone is talking about free or someone talking about subsidy or giveaway, you can easily find it, right? And we have a database that we have all the naming conventions for all of our ads. Very important. If you guys are not using naming conventions, every ad has a naming convention, and that naming convention ties together what prompt was used to make that ad, right? And who made the ad, who was the guy on the team who did it, a bunch of other metrics. We also pull in Facebook data and Google data as well, and we tie it to that same database. So we know which prompt, what needs to be changed, what doesn't need to be changed, based on CTRs and CPC, so on and so forth. The system is your JSON, your variables. You track the performance. Performance is very important. Anyone can make an ad. Jesus Christ, like I've seen the worst ads ever, but do they perform well? No, they suck. So making sure that whatever you throw out there, every dollar you spent on your ads is being accounted for in some form of database, and you know how either to kill that ad, to scale that ad, change that ad, so on and so forth. And that is it. You guys get the prompt, start testing, let the phones ring, and the rest is history, baby. Anyone have any questions?
All right, great stuff, guys. Guys, every time click right across. What reserve? Where's the Slido barcode, guys? I hear Samar speak, right? I realize I feel like I'm in freaking kindergarten, right? I'm like, damn, I gotta set my stuff up. Yeah. But it's good. You gotta be challenged, you know? You gotta get challenged, and that's the only way you grow in business. You gotta feel uncomfortable. So I really appreciate you. I mean, you're doing some amazing stuff. So let's look at these questions here. I'm having a little bit of an issue. Just read them off the board here. What spend are your creators actually doing, or is it more huge volume, low spend? I don't know if that makes sense, the second part.
What spend are your creators actually doing? Huge volume, no spend. How can you have volume with low spend? I don't understand that question.
Well, I guess maybe they're trying to understand what kind of volume you can do with these ads, these AI ads, and what have you seen? What
These are very scalable. So mostly I run only insurance. And what I mean by scalability, I'm able to feed all of my agents and keep them on calls all day long. And I'm able to do that comfortably on one ad account. If I really want to go hard, open up 500 agents, open up 10 ad accounts. It's about how you scale. It's not about the creative. It's how you media buy. Like, media buying plays a really big role in anything. If you don't know how to media buy, you won't be able to scale anything. So if the ad is good, if the CTRs are good, if people are liking it, you can scale to however, 50K a day, 100K a day. You just got to have enough buyers on the back end to take that type of traffic.
All right, this is a technical question I think you would appreciate. What are your thoughts on platforms like Creatify, Arcad's Free Pick? What tools would you use instead to really learn? Lost the damn question. But what are your thoughts on those?
Look, I've tested them all. They're all great. I'm a big firm believer in trying to keep your data as safe as possible, and creatives are the backbone of your business. So I like to go directly to the platforms. I like to use Comfy UI and use WAN and use all these custom Chinese models and keep everything in-house. Creatives are your backbone, right? Even though they get ripped, you can still, they're great platforms. Don't get me wrong. I know some people that have scaled with them. Arcads is one of them, Creatify, but I personally just don't use them. I like building my own stuff.
Cool. How often do you change ad creators?
That's a good one. Every day. We test a lot every day. But there's a testing strategy to it, because let's say you have, 5,000 creatives. You will go broke testing those creatives, right? I'm just going to spend $1 per creative. It's going to go broke. So you have to have a proper testing strategy. First of all, you have to have a proper way to mass produce ads. If you can't mass produce ads, you're going to fall behind, right? With the new with the new Facebook update, they want to see more creatives. They want to see diversification. So you got to have a proper testing strategy. And if your testing strategy is good, you can just, I'll let an ad run, and even if it spends like 4 cents, like, I'll still kill it. I don't care, because I have so many. We can just make an unlimited amount of ads.
Cool. With VO3, how do you keep the ad going past 8 seconds for the UGC AI person? It takes so long to edit and clip. How can you do it faster?
So it is very possible. I'm not okay. So if you guys go on, I'll tell you. It's not. I can't answer in 30 seconds. I have a YouTube channel at Samar GPT. Look it up. I have a video on there called crafting scalable video ads. It's a 3-hour session. Watch it. That'll answer your question. I can't answer it in 5 seconds. Okay, it's a whole shebang.
What other models besides Gemini or Veo do you use for hyper realistic characters?
You start off with we start off by making the actor in Nano Banana, and then we put that into VO, or you put that into these other platforms. Hixfield, any of you guys use Hixfield? Okay. If you guys don't have a Hixfield Pro account, I don't know what you guys are doing with your life. It can do anything you want. It can build everything. It has access to all the models. You just get one Hixfield account, and it'll give you access to all the video models, all the image models, all the Chinese models. It's really great. Go on YouTube and you have a field day of how people are making ads on Hicksfield, and that's a great starting point.
Okay, we got 2.5 minutes. I got 2 questions. Do you find any platforms have better performance and or ability to scale?
Honestly, it just depends on who your audience is. So if you're doing stuff like Medicare, you're doing stuff like ACA, Facebook's all day, because those people are just sitting down doom scrolling and you're just going to call them up. But if, let's say, it's very easier to train your pixel on that type of platform. If you have a paid product, I do use 65. I still run Facebook, but training my pixel to find people who have $400 a month to pay me takes a longer time, right? So you got to go for more higher intent, like Google search, for example. Guys who are actually looking for insurance, looking for private insurance plans. That's where it just all depends on who your audience is, what the offer is, how much money they have, and how much you're trying to get out of them.
Which one do you like better? Tips for testing your AI ad creatives? What's the easiest way to generate JSON prompts? Sure.
I'll do the technical one. So the easiest way to generate JSON prompts, honestly, is by... I'm going to give you guys a step-by-step. That screenshot or that JSON prompt, the QR code, take that same exact QR code, that JSON prompt, open up a ChatGPT, throw that in there saying, hey, this is a structure for a winning ad. This is being used for auto insurance. I want to use it for final expense, or I want to use it for Medicare. I want you to come up with a nice, catchy this, and start making your JSON prompts there. Copy, paste that into Sora. Boom, you got yourself a freaking ad, right? So use that as a baseline. I gave you guys, that's the exact same prompt was used to make that. Use that as a baseline, and you guys should be good.
Okay, guys, this is amazing. With your YouTube channel, what is it again?
At Samar GPT. I have like 9 hours worth of content. All of the master classes I've ever done, I put them up for free. I used to charge a lot of money for them, but I just made it free.
He also follow his Instagram. What's your Instagram?
Insta_Samar.
He puts great content out there. He does IG lives pretty frequently, webinars, I think every Friday or every 2 Fridays. So Follow him. He'll tell you what the deal is. Guy's great. I'm glad you got to be on stage, drop that AI sauce. Let's give Samar a round of applause, guy.
Thank you.
Great guy, man. All right, you guys still hype? We're in Vegas, guys. You guys have a long night. I'm going to see a lot of you guys at the Chandelier Bar, probably at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. So just get hype. Take your energy shot. Do what you got to do, because we got more sauce coming. You know what I just realized? We got a heavy Miami representation here right now. This hit me. Miami's the hottest city in America, right? It might be the hottest city in the fucking world right now. And we got the heavy hitters. And the cost of living is not cheap over there. It's the most expensive place to freaking eat out. I know that for a fact. So we got the first guy who I knew in the business from Miami. His Instagram is 305 Shark. This guy picked me up in a Lamborghini one day. I was going to order an Uber, and somehow Carlos shows up in his Lamborghini. We go to Soho House. I'm now a member of Soho House. Fucking guys, that's paid dividends for me, so I really appreciate you showing me the ropes in Miami. Now I'm like a fucking pro over there. So anyway, long story short, Carlos Corona is an OG in this industry. He's been doing this for a long time. His network has done over $200 million in lead generation, pay-per-call, crazy fucking numbers. Puts on great masterminds, got great content online. He's going to come up on stage, and so we all make, a lot of us, how many media buyers here? How many affiliates? Raise your hand. There's what Adam Young talked about, that affiliate curse. That's a real fucking thing. It happened to me as well. You got to go deeper. There's better ways to make money. We know guys in Miami with big agencies are doing well. So Carlos is going to go deep here. He's going to spit some knowledge. Make sure you guys take notes. Let's give a round of applause to Carlos Corona, guys.
Love you. Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
I'm mic'd up here.
Oh, you're good.
Good. What's up, guys? Damn, that light is bright. Media buyers in here? Who's having problem generating traffic? Okay, this talk is not going to be for you then. I don't have a slide, so I'm just going to go off the top of my head and then give it to you guys. What is it that we do and how we're using AI to kind of solve some of the problems. So the issue that we were having at Unique is that we were generating more calls than we could sell. So that's a good issue, but not really, right? Because then now you're looking for buyers and fighting for a cap and, the whole 9 yards. So what we decided was like, how can we start partnering up with good operators and pretty much by the mouth, correct? So what we did is we went after insurance companies. So first we started with auto insurance. So we found a really good operator that knew nothing about marketing, right? And the guy had pretty much the best contracts that you can get, Progressive, Geico, and so on, right? Then I spent a lot of time like understanding the behind the operations. So what's their day to day in their office? How are the agents selling policies? What softwares are they logging into? Pretty much observing everything that I could. Then I figure out that we can automate most of it and use AI to grow his agency. So the first thing that we notice is that you can get real-time actual quotes for auto insurance. Most of you that ever ran auto before, you send them to a lead form, but at the end, the consumer never sees a price. They just start getting, calls and emails. But using a backend API, which is called Turbo Rater, you can integrate with them and, put all your credentials for all the different carriers, and then you can provide real-time quotes to the consumer, right? So what we did then is I told my team to start building a front end, a brand that people can go to, put their information, and give them a real quote so they can just click and bind after that, right? So that's exactly what we did. And we developed milaquotes.com, where consumers can go. They can put in all the info. They get a real quote. They can bind after that. And then the operator, which is now partners with us, can answer that call and bind that policy. What we saw was growing faster with less agents, because most of the work is done by the consumer filling out the information online, and being able to do it much better at a lower acquisition cost. So instead of us running, auto insurance offers and getting paid, I don't know, 12, 14, $16 per, form fill, we just brought it in-house. Use our website. We give you the quote. And if you like it, go ahead and bind with our agents. So it's like, okay, if we can do that with auto, what else can we do? Right? What else can we do so we don't have to be on the hunt for cap? It really bothers me that I have to beg somebody to give me cap, so I can run an offer. It just rubs me the wrong way. So I'm like, okay, what if we start building infrastructure? So first we did it with auto, then we was like, okay, let's start doing it with health. The same thing. Operator, learn their business, build out a complete funnel. Now when we generate calls, we have first priority in these calls. And then all of our other buyers, which we still operate in the pay-per-call business, will get those calls. So now we're kind of less dependent in trying to find, budget out there. After health, we said, hey, we can do the same thing with life. So again, learn the whole business, set up the infrastructure, and start selling final expense, which I don't know if you guys ever ran it, but it's pretty simple to run and very scalable. So the point that I'm trying to make here, without slide or without any presentation, is that you have to look beyond the offer that you want to run. You have to look beyond, just a single transaction of I generate a call, a lead, I sell it, that's it, end of the day, right? Because that's not going to, it's great money, don't get me wrong, but that shouldn't be your end goal. I believe that the end goal is that if you're really good at media buying and if you're really good at generating traffic, you should be somehow monetize that internally. And I'm not saying go out there and start your own insurance company or your own whatever service you're selling, but partner with great operators that they understand the business. They just don't understand, VO3 and media buying and the whole side of generating traffic, right? And when we shifted into that model, we saw our revenue start increasing, which is great. And our dependency in other buyers wasn't so much of an issue, right? And I don't know. I just think that to me, that's the way to go. Now, how can you do that with a small and lean team? First, I think using, AI, will help you a lot. And two, I'm a big fan of no code, low code, right? So in order for us to start building all this user interfaces and system, we have to figure out a way that we can do it the best way possible. So we use Xano, which is Xano. Anybody uses Xano here? Nobody? You guys should. So you can control the whole backend, integrate pretty fast with pretty much all your other systems, and, be able to ship something, put it in production faster than you would traditionally with a dev team. All respects to Kirill. But that's the way that we did it. Then what we figure out, we use for call tracking, we use Ringba. We also use retrievers and other platforms. But we figure out that we need it also now. Okay, we handle the insurance side, opening everything. How can now we bring in more agents into our distribution, right? Because our agency can only handle so many calls. So, or the overflow, the rest of it, how can we make it easier for other companies, other agencies, independent agents to come in and start buying calls from us? Traditionally, they will have to talk to one or a business development person, and they will have to, have a meeting, fill out a form, go through contracts, set them up in our call tracking, start sending them calls. It's a manual process, and it takes a lot of time. But the API is there to make it happen faster if you think outside of the box. So what we did is we built callers.io, which is a marketplace where the agents can just log in, fill out their wallet, and start buying calls from us on demand, right? So they can just cut down the time that it takes to set up with us, right? Now we can just provide them a link, be like, hey, come here, sign up, load up your wallet, which is prepaid. Who doesn't love prepaid here? Right? So all the calls are now prepaid. So boom, they can start getting calls and the verticals that we're participating in, which is like auto, health, and life, right? And by doing that, it also, same thing, bring in faster people and kind of sustaining the operation that we have going internally as well. Because the overflow, we can sell it to them and we can actually expand as well. So that's pretty much what we've been up to for the last year and a half. It's finding good operators because we're pretty confident that we can bring in the traffic, right? So find a good operator and look beyond just sending you a call. Like, I don't want to have to explain to you what a buffer is and what's a qualified call and none of that. They're not interested in that. They just want to make more money, write more policies, book more appointments, and, increase revenue. So figuring out ways to do that, if you already have the traffic, that will be like my advice for everyone here, right? I still got 9 more minutes. I wish we can go to Q&A, but I'll keep going. Sure. I mean, can we participate? And can you guys ask questions? Or how does this work? Okay. Great.
Yeah, ask a question, Sebastian. Let's go, man. Let's change it up a little.
Yeah, absolutely. What's it called? So with your platform, Callers.io, any white label opportunities? Or how hard would it be to build something like that?
I'll explain. Yeah. So making it a white label will be difficult because of the payment processor. We have to figure out a way that we can allow you to bring in your own payment processor to do that. But if we do that, it opens a whole can of worms for chargebacks, potential fraud, and whatnot. So at the moment, we can do co-branding, but not a complete white label.
Let me ask you this question, because this was asked before, and each speaker had this question asked, and I didn't ask it at that time. I think now is more appropriate to ask it. But it seems like there's a few newbies here, and we were all newbies at one point, right?
Yeah.
How the hell does a newbie get involved in pay-per-call? Like, where would you start step 1, step 2, so to optimize your chance of success?
I tell you, Adam Young from Ringba just put out a workbook that is called Paper Call Revolution Workbook. I think that will be like the best place to start. And the second will be my YouTube channel, which is free. There's over like 200 hours on YouTube of paper call content, all the way back when I was in home services to now, right? So there's tons of info there. We also run a Thursday call every Thursday at 3 p.m., which it gets pretty lit sometimes. Inappropriate, but it works.
Yeah, I was going to say, guys, I mean, I got into this industry in 2016. I consider myself a very, very good networker. You gotta be in the right rooms, and some of those rooms aren't physical rooms. Some of them are Telegram chats or these webinars. Yeah. He has a Telegram chat that's amazing. Some of these rooms, you can ask a question, they'll answer you right away. You'll get the solution to that. We got Ron Hart and Vic Vallo. They got something similar going on with the LTV game. I mean, we got people here. These guys have done it. They spend a lot of their money. They have sleepless nights, gone through stress, divorces, all that shit. We've been through it, guys. So
child support.
I mean, it's real, So the bottom line is that utilize that. This is a way that's a hack, use that to collapse time frames for yourselves, guys. Take advantage of that.
And how hard is to build callers.io? Can I white label? Okay, the white label, as far as building it, we literally use WeWeb. It's not Vive coded, but it's pretty low code. We use WeWeb as a front end, and we use Xano as the back end.
This is a good question. How do you filter low quality / low intent calls? Because we know those are the ones that are the easiest to generate, the cheapest to generate. So
yeah,
what do you do for that?
We use retail AI.
Retail AI?
Yeah, correct. So pretty much we try using different, services, and we tried building our own, but it didn't work. So we just use retail AI, and I believe every call is a good call. Maybe not for what you want them to be, but you can always like if they call in for, I don't know, health insurance, but they're not interested, you can still get them to opt in for something else. So we use retail AI to first, we're trying to get consent for SMS right off as soon as they call in and be like, hey, can we send you account updates to your phone? Press 1 or say 1. And, if they opted in, then we go ahead with the disqualified questions.
Great. This question now, is this thing, how do you find final expense and IUL, insurance agents already buying calls? I come from the life industry, and I feel very confident generating calls. I just don't have any buyers yet or a call center.
Trade shows is a good way to start. Also, if they're already buying calls, every single one of you is in a website that's called amattendees.com. I mean, you'll be surprised if you put your name there, what's going to show up, right? So that's another way. And then every agent has to be licensed. So there's public databases that you can. Also, last one, hiring websites like Indeed, Monsters. So we'll go there, and if you see that a company is hiring agents, chances are that they're growing. So it's a good way to reach out to them.
I want to say something you made me think about.
Yeah.
Maybe this is not for a call center, but internally for your team, right?
Uh-huh.
I haven't had a lot of success hiring internally from this industry. They hop around a lot like fleas, and it's annoying when you spend a lot of time training someone else and they think the grass is greener on the other side, and it doesn't work out. What's your feedback on that, and how do you combat that, or what's your hiring process for your internal team?
Same thing. When we hire people from the industry, we don't usually get the best results. So what we do is trying to find people that are really good at what they do, and we just train them. And our team is mostly females.
Why is that?
Huh?
Why is that?
I think they're more dependent. They work harder. So a mom is going to give you like, she's going to show up and she's going to do her job. And if you create an environment where they can thrive, they can feel ownership of the company, compensate them well, they're going to work becomes their safe place, quote unquote.
Oh, you just touched me. You touched my heart for some reason. I don't even know why. I appreciate that. Made me think of my mom, my sister, my right hand, Amanda. She just gave me some hard love this morning.
Yeah.
And I needed that. I needed to hear that, and it got me going this morning. So thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out Amanda. Anyway, okay, great. This guy said this is more of a compliment. Oh, here we go. Carlos was there to help me when I was a nobody. Praise to Carlos. Thank you for everything, Boris. Beautiful. Thank you.
Love you.
Why you wake up? What?
Huh?
Where should we go?
I missed 2 flights. I don't have a slide. I'm still here, baby.
He's still here. He made it happen. Give him a round of applause for that. Is that over though? We got 3 more minutes here. Okay. Do you do any warm transfers for your buyers too? If so, are you using traffic for these?
Yes, we do, but inbound warm transfers, not outbounds. So we use retail AI, same thing as agent qualification, and then we transfer them.
Okay, I like this question. Where do you find out market pricing for different verticals?
CPA, how much is a business making when they sell a policy, when they sell their service, and then work backwards.
Got it. Okay. I got a few people, I guess they didn't catch the YouTube channel. We got 2 or 3 times they asked, what is the YouTube channel again?
I think it's called Paper Call Secrets, but if you put in my name, Carlos Corona Paper Call, it should show up there.
Also, you're 305 Shark on Instagram, right?
Yes, baby. 305 Shark.
I recommend Instagram so much. People put the stories on there, and it's easy to know where the hell they're at, their whereabouts, and then you follow their updates and what's going on. Okay. Another one. There was one about like auto. Okay. Are you buying companies like auto? Maybe are you buying leads in companies for verticals like auto, FE, etc., or are these joint ventures and partnering? Also, has Callers.io been your solution for filling caps?
Yes, it has. And yes, we usually like to buy at least half of the company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Look, they're giving you a round of applause over there. They love this shit. Good for you.
Love that.
Listen, guys, Carlos Corona, this guy's a legend in the game, done a lot of big things. I mean, I want to thank you too, man. I mean, I got into this industry, I don't know, 8-9 years ago. A few years ago, you gave me a lot of good advice. You helped me with my podcast. My first freaking thing I ever filmed, I was nervous as fuck, and you gave me some good advice. Boom, we made it happen.
10 push-ups. Let's do it.
I was really doing 10 push-ups in Miami with this guy, my shirt off. All good. I love you, man.
Well, one last question.
One last question. Here we go. Generous guy.
Doing peptides. I would love to talk after you. Been in my health journey, and I'm all about working out. I think telehealth could be the next big thing, okay, if you're good at driving traffic. Thank you for your time. I really...
give a round of applause, guys. Big ass round of applause. All right, guys. My talk is about paper call. Is this up? Oh, yeah, I went the wrong one. Paper call predictions for 2026. We're in a brand new year, guys. Right? Brand new year. 2025 was a freaking roller coaster in my business. A lot of ups and downs. Boris talked about how 3 years ago it was tumultuous for him. End of 2025 was like wild as hell for me. It was like, what the hell is going on? Are we going to even freaking survive this? I had to cut costs dramatically. We got really heavy. We were on a huge run. We made Inc. 500s list 4 years in a row. 2 companies made that list. And it was like, you think that shit's never going to end, right? Then we did a lot in solar. Solar went to hell. Interest rates went up. They got rid of the Inflation Reduction Act, and everything changed for me, right? So I had to pivot really, really, really fast, cut some costs. And, this game is all about pivoting, staying ahead of the curve. And like Boris said before, doubling down when you got to double down. So we did all of those elements, right, is what we did. And I'm proud to say that we're back, we're kicking ass. And it built a lot of character for me doing that. And we launched the LFG show. It's the LFG show on YouTube. We're on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe. Told a lot of heavy hitters, but we ended really strong. I'm super excited about 26. I felt in 2025, there were a lot of there's people sad, man. They were nervous. There's a lot of anxiety in the air. I feel like 2026, there's a lot more enthusiasm, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the way I'm feeling. So anyway, with that being said, I'm excited to talk to you about the predictions that I see on the LFG show in my business. I fucking travel over 100 times a year. Last year I was on 110 flights, the year before 120. We call this LFG show for a fucking reason. Like we go, right? We're talking to people. We're shaking hands, doing all that kind of stuff. I got 3 kids. I mean, we just don't stop. We make it happen. And with that being said, we're talking to heavy hitters. I'm talking to a guy. He sold his company for $1 billion. He's on our show, right? We're talking to people that are tops in paper called Adam Young. We're doing masterminds with him. We're doing a lot of big things in the industry. So this is my purview of what I'm seeing, right? So I'm curious to get your feedback. Bottom line, the first thing I want to talk about, listen, we all know one thing, right? Outbound dialing, when you're working leads, is a contact sport. If you can't talk to your prospect, you can't get in front of them, you're not going to convert them. It's not going to happen. It doesn't matter how good your damn lead is. It doesn't matter if it's a $300 Google search lead, if it's a freaking $5 Facebook lead form, it doesn't matter. You got to get in front of them, right? The problem now, calls are not getting through. It's getting harder and harder to get through to the end prospect, right? We all see it. I see Derek from Sunrun shaking his head. He's been doing this for a while. I've done business with him for many, many years. I get my discipline reports from my clients in home improvement and debt and all these guys buying web forms, age leads, whatever it is, solar. Contact rates are down year over year. I have a big client. They spend about $4 million a month on leads in home improvement. They're actually pretty good. Their penetration is 60%. Everyone else is in the 40s. They're kind of like a unicorn. They're like Boris. Listen, Boris might disagree with a lot of stuff I'm saying here, but he's a unicorn. He's one of the few people that knows what he's going to do. He spent a lot of money figuring out the damn sauce. I hate to say it, 99% of you aren't going to do that. You're not going to have the wherewithal to do that. It is what it is. So what do you have to do? You either have to partner up with a guy like him, or you got to get involved in pay per call. Pay per call is going to continue to grow. And one thing that, I'm kind of sounding the alarm out here. We do a lot in home improvement, and that client that spends about $4 million a month on leads, we have them. We have a bathroom company. I have about 5 home improvement companies. They collectively spend $12 million a month on leads. Not all with me. I wish they did. I get a few percentage of that. But the bottom line is that when I asked the client who spends $4 million a month, and I had a suspicion it was under 5%, but I asked him, what percentage of that spend is inbound calls? What would you guys? Anyone want to take a guess? 80%? It's high. Anyone else? 3%. Less than 3%. 2.8 or whatever it was. Right? That's crazy. Yeah, you're pretty close, Ruben. Ruben's the expert in home improvement, by the way. Great guy. Active prospect. But bottom line is this. He's not the only one. My bathroom buyer, same thing. He's doing 5%. Spends $3.5 million a month. There is a big gap there. So if you're in the home improvement space, you have a lot of opportunity there. One of the reasons why they're not doing it because they have issues attributing the calls. Call attribution is a big issue. That's a solution. Ringba might have a solution on active prospect. Anyone, you guys have a solution, but that's one reason why they're not doing it, because they don't know how to attribute the calls. Either way, they got to get with the program. Legislation keeps coming out, making it harder. States have mini TCP rulings going on. I was at a home improvement conference in Vegas 2 months ago, Qualified Remodeler. Great show. Best home improvement companies in the industry. Stupid amounts of ad spend there. But they were all freaking out about an iOS update. Like this fucking iOS update, we can't get in touch with our leads. We're spending millions of dollars on leads. We can't get in touch with our people. What the hell are we going to do? They're freaking out. For me, that's an opportunity. You find pain and what the hell is going on, and you create an opportunity, right? So I really think the home improvements companies here, there's a few of you guys here, if you can team up with the right people that you trust that can deliver you real compliant quick call inbound calls or even transfers, you're going to be ahead of the curve, because in the ones that don't, you're going to fall behind in a big way. So let's talk next about the verticals, right? Everyone wants to talk about verticals. What's going to do well this year? Essentially, you're going to have the verticals that are traditionally powered by outbound: auto, debt, insurance, home improvement. A lot of them have adopted pay-per-call. Adam Young probably knows better than me, but I think they're probably more like 30, 40%. And home improvement's in the gutter. I mean, that's freaking less than 5%, right? But these are the verticals that you're going to see increase and you have opportunities with in terms of pay-per-call. You're seeing recalibration of Medicare regulations. That creates opportunity as well. The reason it creates opportunity is, I can tell you one thing. We had a company called Senior Direct Marketing that was putting up pretty good numbers a few years ago. We're not doing as much in Medicare, nowhere near as much as we used to do. But every time there's a freaking new Medicare regulation, it gets harder. I know a lot of media buyers If Carlos was here, he would attest to this. Their RPCs suck. They're not making margin on Medicare calls, on ACA calls. It's horrible. They're making less than 10%, 8% margin, right? So it's a volume game, but you carry a lot of weight and a lot of risk. And a lot of times with Medicare companies, they pay you monthly net 30, monthly net 60. So you're carrying a lot of risk for not much gain at the end of the day, right? It's still going to be there, don't get me wrong, but I think that's going to create opportunities in other verticals. A big one, Carlos talked about it. I think Samar talked about it. Find no expense. Guys, we're all going to die. All right, it's going to happen one day or the other. People are strapped for cash in America. This inflation shit is for real. People have all this money in their homes, home equity, right? They need to tap that. They can't survive. They got no money in the bank. My dad passed away sadly a couple years ago. I mean, I spent a lot of money. It was 5 figures on his funeral, right? It costs a lot of money. We're living in a day and age where people would rather pay for a peace of mind. They'd rather pay $50, $100, $150 a month to prevent spending 10, 15, 20,000, whatever the hell it is. Final expense is going to continue to be good. It's big for Spanish. Spanish is huge. My wife's Colombian. My mom's Venezuelan. Shout out to Venezuela. Happy about them. Yeah, we got the colors here. Anyway, the bottom line of the soccer team. The bottom line is that I go to my in-laws. We watch Univision, Telemundo. I see 3 commercials for final expense. People crying, someone's dead, blah, blah, blah. There's an 800 number. Final expense Spanish is big. Tell you that. Watch Univision, watch Telemundo. You'll see it. I'm not joking. Now, here's some emerging winners. Fragmented markets. I can't emphasize that enough. What do I mean? It reminds me of solar back in 2016 when I got into solar. You had solar companies like Momentum Solar. They were only in New Jersey. They were only in half of New Jersey. It's kind of a pain in the ass, right? But they grew. Then they went to New York. They went to Pennsylvania and Florida. Every time they got a new state, I got a raise. It was beautiful. Happened with SunPro. SunPro got bought out by ADT for about $1 billion. Every time they got into a new state, I got a raise. My wife was happy. She got new things, right? So fragmented markets are great, but people are scared of fragmented markets because you're dealing with fucking zip codes. It's not like a nationwide debt campaign or a Medicare campaign where you can go all 50 states, right? So what am I talking about specifically? HVAC, plumbing, electrical, pest control. Anyone have any idea how many HVAC companies there are in this country? Take a guess, anybody. 200,000? That's a pretty good guess. Anyone else? All right. I don't know if this is right. ChatGPT or one of them said 130,000, right? 130,000 HVAC companies. Plumbing was around the same. Electrical, there's 250,000 electricians, so I don't know how many have companies. Pest control was a little bit over 35,000. That reminds me a lot of where solar was back in days, way, way bigger. And I'm going to talk about something else later it reminds me of. But the bottom line is that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when something's going to go wrong with your freaking AC. Right? And it's going to cost you a lot of money. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you're going to have plumbing issues, especially after Thanksgiving. It's going to happen, right? Electrical issues, pest control. These are big verticals. I don't see a lot of people running numbers in them. That makes me excited because guess what? I'm going to crack that shit. So anyway, I got to pivot. That's one of the ways I'm going to pivot, right? Chiropractic, physical therapy, wellness. I helped a buddy of mine build a call center in New Jersey in 2019. I should have structured a better deal for this with that guy because now he's top G. This guy runs the whole thing. He's in with all the top doctors. He's poaching doctors from big ass hospitals, surgeons paying them multi-million like athlete money. He's destroying it right now. That call center helped take his company to the next level, right? These chiropractic, these physical therapists, they don't know how to close they can't close an open door. You got to train them how to sell. You got to script them and do that. That's what we did over there. Bottom line, there's a lot of opportunity there because it's a fragmented market. There's no national chiropractic company. Maybe they have a few franchises, but no one's destroying it. This goes into my next thing, which I think is very, very big. I called Adam Young. He was flying private yesterday. That's him live. They took a picture of him. I asked him, bro, I got to drop some sauce. I'm at Affiliate Summit. I'm wearing my fucking blazer. I need you to drop some sauce for these people here. They all spent a lot of money in Vegas. Half of them are going to be hungover. I want them to remember one thing. Give me some sauce and no one else is going to tell them. So he said, you want to fucking crush it? Don't tell this to anyone, guys. Keep this between you and me, all right? Fucking daycare centers. Minnesota daycare centers, Somali especially. All right, guys, I think you guys will laugh a little bit more. We're just kidding, guys. No daycare center. I'm just fucking kidding. Jeez. Tough crowd, man. Anyway, no daycare centers. That was a damn joke. This is the real sauce. You guys ready? We got Bruce Jenner up on here. Where's Bruce Jenner? Shit, I messed up here. Where do we go? Bruce Jenner. I mean, not Bruce Jenner. Who's this? Kylie Jenner? Chris, whatever the hell. Plastic surgery. I live in Miami. My wife's from Medellin, although she hasn't got any surgery. She's from Medellin. We got Los Angeles. We got Las Vegas. We got New York. People are more vain than ever. We're on Instagram. We're looking at how this person looks, that person looks. People want to spend money on themselves. This semi-glutide craze, Carlos Cronos talking about telehealth. People are losing weight left and right. They want to look good for whatever the hell reason. God bless them. At Miami, I've seen so many different designs. I don't even know. Nothing phases me anymore over there, right? Plastic surgery is huge. And you know what's beautiful about it? There's a beauty. Those HVAC, all that stuff. At the end of the day, it's high ticket. Plastic surgery is high ticket. Very, very high ticket. People are spending 10, 15, 20, 30 grand. And guess what? They get one, they get another one. They're like drug addicts, right? So at the end of the day, the person that can crack plastic surgery, and I believe HVAC and all that stuff, plastic surgery, and they can do a call center model, similar to what Boris is doing, I think they're going to print. And so is Adam Young. He's the one who gave me the idea. It's similar to that 1-800-DENTIST model. You guys know 1-800-DENTIST? Right? It's not rocket science. They took this fragmented marketplace of all these dentists. I don't know how many. I think there's 250,000 dentists in America. The dentists have the same problem my buddy in New Jersey had. They're getting these inbound calls from people. They don't know how to handle the damn inbound calls. They put structure in, like, you know what, dentist? I'm going to take the problem off again. You go deal with teeth, make people look good, fix their cavities, whatever, help them have babies, and bam, they make them look good. Right? And then they don't have to deal with the damn inbound call. They don't have to worry about the conversion. 1-800-DENTIST took care of all that. Multi-billion-dollar company. I believe plastic surgery, this wellness stuff, med centers, med spas, and HVAC, these fragmented markets, that's going to be the gold. Maybe we got Sean here. He's in porta potties, a real shitty business, right? A real shitty business that prints and makes a lot of fucking money. He might have that need. I don't know. He's right here in the blue. Where's the thing? Look. There he goes. I'm pointing at him. But honestly, this is no joke. There's a lot of money being made. We try to inject some humor in our stuff here on the LFG show. Anyway, so hope you appreciate that. Samar talked about AI. We talked about AI call centers. We have Boris with his human agents, right? We believe that AI call centers will continue to grow this year. There's a big place for them. And this doesn't just come from me. It comes from Adam Young. Humans will naturally desire to talk to other humans, right? Especially when it comes to something high ticket or something personal. That's not going to go the fuck away, right? So that's why people like Boris that have cracked this code, they're going to continue to do well. If you're in call centers, try to figure out how you can crack the code as well. Try to get into these markets, these fragmented markets that I mentioned, because it's going to continue to grow. I really firmly believe in that. So you'll see AI. Listen, I get mad. I call American Express for an issue in my bank. They don't hear me right, blah, blah, blah. I got press zero like 5,000 times, get frustrated. I mean, hopefully they fix that crap, but humans will always want to talk to other humans. That's not going to go anyway. Remember that. Okay, another thing. Adam Young talked about this briefly. This is Meta, right? I mean, who has a love-hate relationship with Meta? Raise your hands. Man, most of you guys must love them then. Anyway, but bottom line is that I know a lot of media buyers that they got this love-hate with Meta. Meta has the biggest ability to scale, right? But it's very super saturated right now. They made that Andromeda update. There's all these different changes. So people are frustrated like this guy over here. This guy doesn't know what to do with himself, right? So the bottom line is this. If you're swimming in the same waters as everyone else, you're going to get the same results, guys, right? There's too many people who are just advertising on Meta. They're scared. I don't know what the hell the problem is. Scared money don't make money. They got to go into other pools, other areas. This is where you got to go to. Things like TikTok. TikTok used to be platforms like TikTok. TikTok used to be thought of it's just, young kids fucking around there, setting bullshit. Their grandparents are on TikTok. They want to see what their kids are doing. I went to TikTok so my daughter was there. I want to make sure she's not doing any dumb shit. She's 12 years old. So that's why I was on there. Before you know it, you're looking at this thing. You're going down the damn rabbit hole, right? And before I know, I'm getting served ads. TikTok is good. I'm hearing that it's performing well for home improvement for some publishers. So as an advertiser, I see a lot of you on here. When you're onboarding your media buyers or your new affiliates, you should ask them, where are you running your ads? If they say TikTok or they say NewsBreak or they say something no one else is saying, that should perk your ears up. When I scaled the hell out of my solar marketing company, I remember finding people that were doing native. I never did anything with native. We were all big on Meta and on Google, right? Like everyone else. I met a couple native guys. Some of them sucked, but I found one that cracked the code, and boom, we were able to scale the shit out of it. There was a company called Energy Bill Crusher. They did very, very well on native and display and all that stuff. To the bottom line is that as you're onboarding new media buyers, new affiliates, you got to ask, where are you running on? And some of them might bullshit you, right? By the end of the day, you do a small test. You test $2,000, $3,000. You find the one that works. NewsBreak, by the way, I think 40 million subscribers right now. They're also a sponsor of the LFG show. They're growing like crazy. I was in Golden Beach. I was in Sunny Isles taking pictures of my family. A big helicopter came by. We were like, what the hell's going on? 30 seconds later, I get a NewsBreak alert. Some guy was floating in the water, you know? NewsBreak. Got that news before anyone else. They're breaking news for real. You got Snapchat. People think Snapchat's only young kids. There's 20 million homeowners on Snapchat. I know a lot of guys doing big things. They're doing telemen on Snapchat. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Don't forget about those guys. Adam Young alluded to them earlier. And people forget about this radio. When I talk about radio, I'm not talking about the old radio that your grandfather listened to. People are on Spotify. They're on iHeart. People forget about this stuff. These high-ticket opportunities like plastic surgery and HVAC, you got to take advantage of stuff. Everyone's swinging at fucking Meta. I mean, no disrespect to Meta. It's always going to be around. Don't get me wrong. But these are other avenues that you got to look into. If you're a media buyer, test on these. These guys are giving out some crazy incentives. NewsBreak will give you like $5,000, $4,000 or $5,000. You put 5,000 ad spend, they give you another 5,000. Snapchat's like 10 times more aggressive if you're good. So the bottom line is that there's a lot of opportunity here. You got to look out there for that. Okay. So, guys, this has been a pleasure. I'm going to open up for questions for myself in a little bit. Hope you enjoyed it. I think 2026 is going to be freaking unbelievable. I'm really excited. I'm really enthusiastic. A lot of things are opening up. You want to learn more about me and what I'm doing? We have a podcast called The LFG Show. I'm going to put a barcode for that. Listen to what everyone said here. Implement it. And let's fucking go. Let's make some money, guys. Appreciate you. All right. This was a good one. Is there still opportunity in solar with lease and PPA going away this year? We have Sunrun here. Derek's from Sunrun. Raise your hands. We promise you there'll be direct buyers. Sunrun's the biggest solar company in America. Probably been the biggest for 5 or 6 years. You should talk to them if you want to get a campaign going right there. So this is what I'm going to say. We're not looking to expand solar anymore. We just had a big company that went out of business that we dealt with. They owed us a few $100,000. I'm also going to shout out Allianz Insurance. They covered me for 90%. Thank God, because it was a big nut. They cover your receivables. So anyway, with that being said, there is some opportunity there. You can generate leads cheaper now because there's less competition, but you got to be very, very careful with the buyers. Buyer beware. I will get them on prepayment or weekly net zero. Negotiate tight terms. Sunrun's publicly traded. They might be a little bit different. They might have, I think they start you off a little bit further than that. But what you would do is start small budgets. Go slow, do 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. And once it works for them, you get the $10,000, they pay you, whatever. Then you talk to them about making your terms better. I don't know if you guys know Michael Walker, big legend in the pay-per-call space. He had buyers paying him. Everyone's getting paid net 30. He was getting paid next day. He was doing $350,000, $400,000 a day in pay-per-call. He commanded the respect. He owned the marketplace. So you want to get good enough where you own the fucking marketplace, and they got to do that. That happened to me in solar. I had a lot of people, they used to pay really, really quick because we were fucking outstanding from them, right? So there's still opportunity there, but it's buyer beware. I would tread carefully. I do believe there's a consolidation going on here. And in the next few years, the winners, the people left standing are going to fucking crush it. All right, great. What else do we have? Is U.S. Hispanic a good market to be in? Are there any good opportunities? I fucking love the Hispanic market. I'm probably because when I first got into solar, I don't know why. Oh, I know why. I was at Momentum Solar's call center. I consulted for the call center, helped them build things in place that they still have. They went from $14 million a year to $500 million a year. And when I was in their call center, I was amazed at how many Spanish calls they got that they were just fucking up. I'm like, guys, what are you doing? We got this guy. He's from Patterson, New Jersey. Send him the call. We created our own Spanish line. And it was amazing. The Hispanics closed twice as good as every other ethnicity. They were the best. But what you had to do, though, you had to set the appointment in Spanish, and you had to send a guy in Spanish to the house. They would fumble half the time. They send a white guy that spoke no Spanish there, screw it all up. So you got to be very consistent. That's the hard part, is making sure you have consistency in terms of how you deliver. But the Spanish market, everything I've touched in Spanish, I used to do Spanish Medicare, phenomenal. Spanish final expense, phenomenal. Spanish debt. We got some guys here that I've done Spanish debt with. Nate over there. I don't know if you're still doing Spanish debt, but I bought some really good leads from you. Spanish everything. I don't know, David, you're doing Spanish MVA. I mean, guys, I would look into it. A lot of times it's cheaper to generate that lead. They're more consistent. And I tell you, with insurance, I know this from my mom. You provide a good result to a Hispanic, 5 Hispanics are going to know about it, maybe 10. So it's not whatever your CPA is on the front end. You're going to get their cousins, this guy, that guy. this person, their fucking neighbor. Like, it's going to happen. So Hispanic is like the market that pays dividends. It's not easy, don't get me wrong, but you can make a lot of money. And we got Alex Chavez, Spanish credit repair in the house. These guys are the biggest in Spanish credit repair. You guys want to do Spanish? He's right behind you, man. Hook up with him. Got fucking heavy hitters here. We're not fucking around. Oh, I think I'm over, guys. Anyway, listen. This has been a pleasure. We're going to do networking right now. Grab a cup. The red cup stands for people looking for paper call. It's all on there. Just talk to each other, have a drink, high five each other. Let's fucking go. Have a good time, guys. Let's make some money. Your network is your net worth. We got a fucking crazy network of people. I'm not talking about your average motherfucker. I'm talking about people doing $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a day in ad spend. People that have made billions of dollars in sales. People have exited their companies for about $1 billion. We hit 100 episodes. Guess what? We're about to take shit to the next level. So you want to be part of it? Subscribe right now. Remember, no money, no honey. Let's fucking go.